Alright, before our camera battery dies, it was 7 degrees when I checked this morning before I came out to do chores. 7 degrees Fahrenheit, because we live in the most ridiculous country in the world here. I guess today's video is going to be how to turn a big round of pine into a bunch of Fatwood kindling to get your wood stove going in the morning, guaranteed, without any issues. So let's start. Okay, let's get this party started. I grew up in the suburbs, so some of you might want to take classes to learn how to do this instead of just a YouTube video, but if you can, this is a splitting maul. It's made specifically to split wood, not to just, cut branches off trees or something. We want to start breaking up our round here. Easier said than done at the moment. There we go. I'm going to just start making it into smaller pieces that are more manageable for our purpose here. You want to have this up on a stump here just for ease of splitting backwise, and so your splitting maul doesn't end up going on the ground. You want to keep the blade sharp. Whew, this one's being a little spiky today. Once we get all the pieces down to a more manageable size, we'll go on to our next step, which involves my little wood splitter here. Little manual kindling cracker. There's a lot of bending over involved with this, which doesn't make it too fun all the time. But depending on your age, generation, fitness level, whatnot. Whew. You will get warm doing this, even in really cold temps. Don't wear a lot of cotton, because cotton kills in this weather. Okay. Good enough for demonstration purposes, right? The next step involves this nifty device here. Kindling cracker. You can occasionally find deals on them at Northern Tool or other places or what have you. And you either want to take a metal, what do you call those? I can't think of the name right now. The back of your axe works. And you tap it. It splits into smaller pieces. If you're not comfortable using the back of your axe, you can also grab a larger piece of wood and get the same mallet effect. And now you have these little dry, thin pieces of wood. Well, they're covered in snow, but you know what I mean. And they're there's your kindling. So, I'm going to do a whole bunch of these. I really need kindling right now. Pushing the wood down onto this blade here, and it wedges it and forces a split because gravity and all that junk. A nice thing to have. Again, I have it up on a stump here because it's a little bit of a back saver. A lot of bending down. Lots of bending over here. It stays pretty sharp. I haven't had to sharpen it yet, so that's been good. I'm going to go back to using the top of the axe because it's a little more oomph. Can go a little faster. And use bigger pieces. The way I am sweating. Of course, I do have a review video of this somewhere on my site in the videos section. Maybe I'll figure out how to link to it for you guys. Peeps. I gotta start writing some music for this channel. Ever since I stopped putting music on these videos, they haven't been quite as fun. And not that I'm getting paid right now anyway. Yes, I'm monetized, but every time I ask a band permission to use their tunes, and then do, I get demonetized anyway. So, I'm gonna have to figure that out. So now that we have our massive pile of kindling inside, the next step is to throw it in the oven of our wood stove to dry it out so it gets nice and dry, and I want to suck all the moisture out of it and just have resin. I want that right there to be all dry and gooey. And that's going to make our Fatwood officially Fatwood. As I was saying before I screwed the video up, I'll layer our wood in here, leaving some nice gaps in between so air can flow. We'll just throw it in here haphazardly or anything. We want to just sort of stack it back and forth and weave it so lots of air can get in there. Have some nice even flow. We don't need to stack it to the ceiling or anything. It can just be, you know, a little bit at a time you can do. It'll take a couple different loads, probably depending on the size of the oven that you're using, to get all of your wood dry, depending on how much you split up and how much cat fur is on it. Our kindling is dry. It's been in the oven all night. So now we're going to take some little pieces out here and start just sort of layering them in here. I don't exactly have the space to do the build I'm trying to do right now, so these aren't exactly perfectly laid out. But pretty much just doing a sort of log cabin layout here. Gonna just put a couple of bigger ones on here. On the top. There we go. Alright. Now you can use a little bit of newspaper or whatever, or my preference here, which is a piece of white birch bark. This is extremely flammable and should do the job here. You just shove some down in here underneath everything and light it up. Very shortly we should be hearing a little crackling. Close the door a bit here. I do need the chimney cleaned, so I'm not closing the door all the way just yet. You can see there's a crack in the glass here. I also need that fixed. It never ends. But, yeah. And there we have it. My dirty wood stove, and, how to make Fatwood, and, how easy it then is to light and get your fire going.